Hello everyone, so today we'll be making Mongolian beef. I've taken 300 grams of beef which is undercut or tenderloin. I'm cutting it into little strips, or I've also cut it using a 45 degrees angle into slanted strips. But you can do it as you like, and this is how you do it. My beef has been smashed quite well, so it's quite thin in thickness. If you're using a bit thicker one, try to pound it. Next, I'm adding 2 teaspoons of corn flour, and I'll mix it quite well until it's fully incorporated. But I've added less. Otherwise, if you want, you can add more and fry it off. I shallow fried it. I didn't deep fry it. But if you're adding more and coating it very well, then you have to put it in deep frying. Now it's mixed quite well, and now I'm putting it in the pan. I added almost 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and now I'm just going to fry it. Also, later I'll be adding in a knob of butter that will give it a very nice taste and will also caramelize the edges of the beef. I'll add in a little bit of water so that it can cook from the inside. Once I added it, I put it on low heat and covered the pan and let it rest for around 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, I put it on high heat and I just evaporated the water. Now I added in a little bit of 1.5 tablespoon of garlic, and just for the aroma, on the taste also, and fried it off on very high heat so that the outer part of the beef could get crispy. Now for the sauce, I'm adding garlic again. One tablespoon should be good, but I added half. And now I'll put in 3 tablespoons of soya sauce. Now I'll be adding Worcestershire sauce, which is 1 tablespoon, but a little less than that would be alright, and a few drops. After this, I'll be adding oyster sauce, and that too would be around half a tablespoon, you can say. It gives it a quite sweet and a tangy taste, which I really like. So this you can also not include, but it's optional. It will give it a nice taste, but I recommend adding it. After this, I'll be adding vinegar, almost around 1.5 tablespoon. Also, please note that the tablespoon I'm using is the normal we use in kitchens. And I also added some ginger, ground ginger. After that, I'm adding some ground cumin. Okay, it's mandatory for the cumin to be roasted, and then you grind it. Some chili flakes, as much as you like, according to your spice levels. Now I'm adding vegetables, which are um, capsicum, green pepper, and onions, and some green chilies. I'll add a bit later, and I'll fry it off until it gets a little bit soft. Please note that I'm using the same pan, so that because that taste that was given off during cooking by the beef has been absorbed by the pan, so I think it would be better. Now I'm adding brown sugar, which I forgot, to the sauce. It's around 1 tablespoon, and I'll give it a mix. This is not granulated, but it will eventually cook off in the heat. So I've removed the vegetables, and now I'm just adding the sauce and let it and boil it. Once it starts to sweat, I'm adding again the vegetables again along with the beef, and we'll mix it so that the beef and the vegetables are coated by the sauce. Once it's done, and to be this has to be done on high heat. At last, I added in some salt and pepper. That too, you have to check because the sauces already have a lot of salt in them. And I added corn flour and water and give it a nice mix, and it's done. So this is the final look, and it tastes absolutely amazing.